Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and warm greetings to all. Please be informed that our program will commence shortly. In this regard, we kindly request everyone's cooperation to ensure a smooth flow throughout the event. We would like to remind all participants that recording videos or taking pictures during the event is strictly prohibited. Kindly refrain from uploading any content to social media platforms. Thank you for your understanding and cooperation. All participants were required to keep the camera open throughout the program, and please use the background provided. Kindly turn off your mic unless needed to. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and warm greetings to all. Please be informed that our program will commence shortly. In this regard, we kindly request everyone's cooperation to ensure a smooth flow throughout the event. We would like to remind all participants that recording videos or taking pictures during the event is strictly prohibited. Kindly refrain from uploading any content to social media platforms. Thank you for your understanding and cooperation. All participants were required to keep the camera open throughout the program and please use the background provided. Kindly turn off your mic unless needed to. Distinguished guests, Madam Noaziah Binti Jaafar, Director for Department of Environment Selangor, Dr. Salmiwati Binti Othman, Deputy Registrar Student Development Center of UiTM, Professor Majid Khayat Kholgi, Adjunct Professor of D8 International University, Technologist Dr. Ain Binti Muhammad Zainuddin, Advisor Rakan Alam Sekitar Student Chapter, Mrs. Aliaa Binti Shafie, Assistant Director Department of Environment Selangor, IRTS Muhammad Fazli bin Masnan, Assistant Director Occupational Safety and Health Department Sabah, IR Tajul Arifin bin Muhammad Nori, Principal Assistant Director of Department of Safety and Health Selangor, Mr. Muhammad Tarmizi bin Muhammad Nordin, Managing Director of TF Osh Enterprise, Mr. Norimin, Managing Director of Greenville, Malaysia Sdn Bhd, Madam Rose Kwan, Director of Shanporna Metals Sdn Bhd, IR Dr. Zaki Zainuddin, Water Quality and Water Quality Modeling Specialist, Dr. Shahnas Ghazemi, Adjunct Professor of D8 International University, Mr. Muhammad Ashraf bin Muhammad Hasni, Senior Process Engineer Metal, Sdn Bhd, Mr. Izwan Riza bin Muhammad Saki, Mr. Muhammad Wafiuddin bin Muhammad Zahrullah, Environmental Engineer of Envilab Sdn Bhd, Mr. Nur Effendi bin Arifin, Environmental Executive of Petronas Karigali Sdn Bhd, Engineer IR Zulaika Mohta, Senior Assistant Director, Environmental Compliance, Department of Environment, and our esteemed participants, ladies and gentlemen, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and warm greetings to all. My name is Aina Batrisha binti Mahmud Rizal, and I am honored to be your host for today's event. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to the International Friends of Nature Summer Camp 2024, IFNSC 2024. We extend our highest gratitude to the Almighty for allowing us to gather here in a harmonious and peaceful environment. This program is a remarkable collaboration between Rakan Alam Sekitar UiTM Student Chapter, RASUiTMSC, D8 International University Iran, and the Department of Environment Selangor. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to all participants, including students, industry professionals, and members of the public for joining us today. The IFNSC 2024, running from 13, 14, 20, 21, and 22nd December 2024, is designed to ignite awareness and action toward environmental sustainability. The program aligns with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs), aiming to create a future where environmental stewardship and sustainable practices thrive. To seek blessings for this event and its objective, we will now have the recitation of dua. I invite Muhammad Akil Hakimi bin Azlan to lead us.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Al-Fatiha. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ya Allah ya Rahim, praise be God, the Lord of the world. Peace and blessing be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions, and for those who follow his example till the judgment day. Allahumma ya Allah, on this blessing evening in conjunction with International Friend of Nature Summer Camp 2024, we beseech thee, and grateful towards you in favor of all the infinite blessings to us, your humble servant, to live in safe and prosperous life. We seek your blessing for a flawless progress of this event from the beginning till the end. We seek your guidance to steer clear of the event that would detrimental the progress of this event. Ya Latif, Ya Rahman, please bless us with your taufiq and hidayah. Please guide University Technology Mana UiTM to the greatness, peace, glory, and prosperity in this world and the hereafter. Make us a responsible intellectual. Granted us with a valuable knowledge that will be beneficial to mankind to gain your madraha tillah. Make us your righteous servant that follow your command and neglect the sinful act. Please forgive us for our wrongdoing. Ya Munzilal Barakat, bestow peace to our beloved country, Malaysia. Preserve us from any threat and disaster, neither man-made nor natural disaster. And to you, Ya Allah, we ask for security and prosperity upon us, our leaders, and our country. Bestow patience in us to face the challenges from you. Please accept our deeds and please reward us accordingly. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. تقبل الله.
Amin Amin Ya Rabbal Alamin. Thank you, Akil, for the dua recitation. Now, allow me to briefly share the essence and structure of the IFNSC 2024. This event comprises 6 enriching days of activities, including 5 webinars and a final forum that provide valuable insights and practical solutions to critical environmental challenges. The program covers the following key topics. Firstly, circular economy, which involve exploring innovative solutions for environmental challenges and waste management. Second, occupational safety and health for environment, highlighting the intersection of workplace safety and environmental care. Thirdly, scheduled waste management, addressing sustainable approaches to hazardous and electronic waste. Next, industrial effluent treatment system, which involve analyzing advanced wastewater treatment technologies and their global applications. Fifth, we have the air pollution crisis, which involve examining strategies to mitigate air pollution and its impacts. And lastly, we have our forum, Shaping the Future, the direct and significance of competent professionals in Malaysia. Our program will culminate with a forum featuring esteemed industry and academic leaders to discuss the future role of competent professionals in environmental sustainability. Through these sessions, participants will gain critical knowledge and have the opportunity to engage in Q&A discussions, interactive quizzes, and networking opportunities with experts and peers from Malaysia, Iran, and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, let us hear from Dr. Samiwati Othman, the Deputy Registrar Student from Development Center of UiTM, to deliver her speech.
Thank you, Ms. Aina. Assalamualaikum and greeting to all. Alhamdulillah, praise to Allah for His blessing and permission that allowed us to gather here today for the opening ceremony of the International Friend of Nature Summer Camp 2024. The Honorable Puan Nur Aziah Binti Jaafar, Director of Environmental Department, the Honorable Prof. Majid Khayat Kholgi, Adjunct Professor of DA, International University of Iran, Madam Aliaa Binti Shafie, Environmental Control Officer, Education and Supervision, Selangor Department of Environment. Technologist Noaini Muhammad Zainuddin, Advisor of Rakan Alam Sekitar UiTM, Student Chapter. I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to representatives of various organizations and distinguished guests who are present here today, particularly the Department of Environment. Special appreciation goes to Rakan Alam Sekitar UiTM Student Chapter, whose tireless effort and dedication have ensured the success of this program. Your commitment to fostering environmental awareness is exemplary and truly commendable. I would also like to acknowledge the participants of alumni of UiTM Shah Alam, which have joined hands with RASUiTM Society to work on this event. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to the company present today for contributing to the success of the program, which are those Malaysia, TFO Enterprise, Greenwell Sdn Bhd, Shan Ponam Metal Sdn Bhd, International Water Association, Watershed and River Basin Management, Nine Dragons Paper Malaysia, Selangor, Subsea Ventilation Sdn Bhd, Metal Sdn Bhd, Avilab Sdn Bhd, and Petronas Carigali Sdn Bhd. Thank you. This collaboration not only strengthens the diplomatic ties between our institute, alumni of UiTM, and the company, but also underscore the importance of collective responsibility for the environment. May the collaboration between alumni of UiTM and all the company bring many benefits to all participants for this program. Ladies and gentlemen, I also informed that this event was held last year and has successfully been organized again this year. I am very proud of the organizer, the Rakan Alam Sekitar UiTM Student Chapter, for their effort in ensuring that the community, especially students, to understand more about the importance of maintaining the well-being of the environment and maintaining the healthy life. I hope this program will be an annual event that is serve as a spark that ignites a deeper commitment to sustainable practice in our everyday life. Together, we can create a better world. In closing, I hope that the International Friend Nature Summer Camp 2024 has achieved its objective. I trust that every participant leave this program will renew energy and determination to care for our planet and embrace sustainability in all aspects of life. Before I conclude my speech, I would like to once again express my gratitude to both professors from D8 International University in Iran for their successful implementation and support of the beneficial program. I hope this collaboration will continue to promote environmental awareness and contribute to sustainable development in the future. Additionally, I look forward to the next International Friends of Nature Summer Camp being held in 2025. That's all for me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Dr. Salmiwati, for your inspiring remarks. Next, to officially launch this exciting program, it is my great honor to invite Puan Nur Azia Binti Jaafar, Director for Department of Environment Selangor, to share her words of encouragement.
The Honorable Dr. Salmiwati Binti Osman, Deputy Registrar of the Student Development Center, UiTM. The Honorable Professor Majid, Khayat Kholgi, Adjunct Professor of D8 International University from Iran. Technologist Madam Norain Binti Muhammad Zainuddin, Advisor of Rakan Alam Sekitar UiTM Student Chapter. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace be upon you and greetings to all. Alhamdulillah. Praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his blessing and permission that allow us to gather this afternoon for the opening ceremony of the International Friends of Nature Summer Camp 2024. First and foremost, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to the participants, representatives of various organizations, and distinguished guests who are present here today. Special thanks to the line of speakers who are willing to spend some time with us to share their knowledge and experiences with the participants. And let me read out the line of speakers. Thanks to Engineer Dr. Zaki Zainuddin, the water quality specialist, Dr. Shahnaz Ghazemi, Adjunct Professor of D8 International University from Iran, Mr. Muhammad Ashraf Muhammad Hasani, Senior Process Engineer from Matel Sdn Bhd, Mr. Izwan Rizwa Muhammad Zaki, Trainer from ZAPSI Training Academy, Mr. Airul Afendi Ali, Experienced Environmental Manager from Nine Dragon Paper Malaysia, Engineer Zulaika Mokhtar, our Senior Assistant Director, DOE Putrajaya, Mr. Nur Effendi Arifin, Environmental Engineer from Petronas Carigali, Nur Aliaa Binti Shafie, Assistant Director from DOE Selangor, Engineer TS Muhammad Fazli Masnan, Assistant Director, DOSH Sabah, Engineer Tajul Arifin bin Muhammad Noor, Principal Assistant Director, DOSH Selangor, Mr. Muhammad Tarmizi bin Muhammad Nordin, Managing Director of TFOSH Enterprise, Mr. Norimin, the Director of Greenwell Malaysia Sdn Bhd, and last but not least, Ms. Rose Kwan, Director of Sanpunam Metal Sdn Bhd. And special appreciation also goes to Rakan Alam Sekitar UiTM Student Chapter, which has put a lot of efforts and dedication to ensure the success of this program. Your commitment to fostering environmental awareness is exemplary and truly commendable, and I believe you deserve a pat on the back. I would also like to acknowledge the speaker from, namely Adjunct Professor of G8 International University from Iran, which I was told has joined hands with Rakan Alam Sekitar UiTM Student Chapter to work on this important topic, namely circular economy and industrial effluent treatment. I believe this collaboration not only strengthens diplomatic ties between University Technology Mara, UiTM, and D8 International University of Iran, but also underscores the importance of collective responsibility for the environment. Ladies and gentlemen, the International Friends of Nature Summer Camp aligns with global agendas, particularly the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDG. This camp emphasizes wastewater treatment, which relates to the SDG number 6, namely clean water and sanitation. And this camp also aims to specifically improve water quality by reducing pollution and sustainability, increase recycling, and promote safe reuse in support to SDG number 6. I was informed that there will be various activities that has been planned throughout this camp, such as webinar talks on circular economy, train talks for occupational safety and health for environment, scheduled waste management, air pollution crisis, and industrial effluent treatment plant by experienced speakers. So this program starts from 13th of December until 22nd of December. And by joining this program, it highlights the efforts of individuals and groups in exceptional commitments towards environmental preservation through sustainable actions and practices. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to commend again the RASUiTM Student Chapter for taking a big challenge to steer a platform for active discussion and awareness regarding environment conservation. However, the matter of environmental sustainability is the responsibility of all regardless of our individual background. And as our tagline goes, environment is a shared responsibility. Hence, that is the reason why this program is open to all students and industry without any restrictions. And through this program, I hope that there will be room for further improvement and discussion to enhance research on environment and safety and widen our thoughts and knowledge, especially in university settings. So through this camp, I hope that it will raise awareness of the vital role that community plays in reducing pollution and combating climate change. As we can inspire others and lead by example in creating a world that values sustainability. Let us take this opportunity to learn, to collaborate, and to commit ourselves to living a better, greater planet for future generations. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that this program can become more than just an annual event, that it serves as a spark that ignites a deeper commitment to sustainable practices in our everyday lives. Together, we can create a better world for our future generation. Therefore, I urge all of you to actively support and participate in this program. Aim, aim at conserving our environment. Let us fulfill our duty as steward of this earth. In a nutshell, I hope that the International Friends of Nature Camp 2024 has achieved its objective. I trust that every participant leaves this program with renewed enthusiasm and determination to care for our planet and embrace sustainability in all aspects of life. With Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, I hereby inaugurate the opening of the International Friends of Nature Summer Camp 2024 for the year 2024. Thank you. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Puan Nur Azia, for those inspiring words. With that, we officially declare the International Friends of Nature Summer Camp 2024 open. Over the next few days, let us work together to broaden our horizons, embrace sustainability, and pave the way for a greener and brighter future. Thank you, and we look forward to a fruitful, impactful journey for you all, with you all. So, for today's session, we will have two sessions, which is session 1, Implementation of Solutions for Environmental Issues and Water Scarcity in Iran by Professor Majid Khayat, Adjunct Professor of D8 International University, and session 2, Implementation of Circular Economy in Waste Management Scheduling by Mrs. Aliaa Binti Shafie, Assistant Director, Department of Environment, Selangor. It's time for our first session. The topic is Implementation of Solutions for Environmental Issues and Water Scarcity in Iran. To deliver this session, we have Professor Majid Khayat Kholgi, Adjunct Professor of D8 International University. He has extensive experience in groundwater management, including modeling for large complexes, aquifer management, and water well sanding. Key projects include aquifer recovery in southern Tehran, water transfer studies from the Caspian Sea, and potash production from brine aquifers, conducted in collaboration with the University of Tehran and various organizations. Hilang eh.
Hilang ketika
It's time for our first session. The topic is implementation of solutions for environmental issues and water scarcity in Iran. To deliver this session, we have Professor Majid Khayat, Adjunct Professor of D8 International University. He has extensive experience in groundwater management, including modeling for large complexes, aquifer management, and water well sanding. Key projects include aquifer recovery in southern Tehran, water transfer studies from the Caspian Sea, and potash production from brine aquifers, conducted in collaboration with the University of Tehran and various organizations. Professor Majid Khayat, the floor is yours.
And I hope my presentation will be useful for you and also your discussion for me. Water resources scarcity in Iran, what happens? Water resources scarcity a complex issue, current water resources situation, implementation solution, and finally, we can talk about conclusion and discussion. Water scarcity is a significant issue in Iran, of the arid and semi-arid countries in the world. The countries' water resources are heavily reliant on rainfall, and the limited water supply is being rapidly depleted due to human activities and climate change, as overuse, mismanagement, and pollution. Iran has experienced a series of droughts and water crises. This situation is particularly dire in the central region of Iran, where farmers and rural communities are struggling to access water for their daily needs and agriculture. In addition, the water crisis has also led to social and economical problems in some regions of Iran. To address the water crisis, the Iranian government has launched various initiatives, including the construction of dams and water transfer projects, as well as programs aimed at reducing water usage in agriculture and industry. However, these efforts have been hampered by a lack of funding, participatory management, and political. Overall, the water security in Iran is a complex and multifaceted issue that requires the countries likely to worsen with consequences for people and what is for our permanent central area of country don't have any permanent river. We have more than 90 reserves that play the main role in water supplies, specifically pertaining to climate change. The first volume of river is withdrawal by non-permitted river withdrawal. And second
Sorry, Prof.
one,
Sorry, Prof. Can you hear me?
climate change.
Your voice is unclear. I think you should turn off your camera.
About the groundwater, we have yes. Okay. سلام. من خاموش کردم. الان سوالم اینه که از کجا شروع کنم. شما صدامو دارید؟ سرویس وارد باش خیلی من مرسی کنم.
Yes, Prof.
So we talk about service water in Iran. Do you have my voice?
Yes, Prof. We can hear it.
Okay. In Iran, we have more than 9 reservoirs, dams that play the main role in water supply, especially for drinking water. Most of them is situated in west of country and north, and a few dams we have in the central part of it. Limited surface water, permanent rivers. We don't have a lot of permanent rivers. The problem is here, reduction of surface water in a specific location of river due to non-permitted river withdrawal on the upstream and climate change. The mostly and more important is non-permitted river withdrawal on the upstream and then climate change. About the groundwater, we have 609 alluvial aquifers, more than 1 million pumping wells, 5 billion cubic meter per year groundwater storage depletion. 5 billion cubic meter per year is it too high? And is a big problem for us. Groundwater management based on Safe Yield Act has been started 2016, but unfortunately failed due to lack of infrastructure and using vaccine for all aquifers in Iran. It didn't respond. But we continue to make a good revision for groundwater management and some infrastructure. We are going to do some infrastructure and as a consultant with power minister. Groundwater, urban industrial and agricultural development, high increase in our water demand, limited service for the groundwater over pumping, another cause climate change, downward trend of the groundwater level, its quality and occupancy. Critical condition about the groundwater resources. Changing water resources scarcity in Iran, a complex issue. When I talked about changing water paradigm from 20th to 21st century, and climate change, and then water resource availability. Water resources scarcity in Iran, a complex issue. Firstly, changing water paradigm from 20 to 21. In the past centuries, there have been three major drivers to the environmental expansion: population growth, changing the standards of living, expansion of irrigated agriculture. Between 1900 and 2000, the population of the world have grown from 1,600 million to almost 600 million people during 100 years. Land under irrigation increased from 50 million hectares at the turn of the century to over 267 million hectares. It means that five-fold increase in fresh water withdrawals. What happened in 21 century? I'm gonna get a Do you have my PDF?
Yes, I can
Do you
hear
have?
you.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, quite blur for my side. I'm not sure the others.
We couldn't find the original and original this file just, but I show you what happened in old paradigm in Iran. I start with 1961. 1961, after a wave of development in the world, we are beginning to construct the dams and also the water well. At the same time, with US has started to going down, and here by the end of 20th century, unfortunately, we continue the old paradigm for 21st century. You can see what happened for our groundwater resources. We have 5 billion cubic meters depletion of aquifers, reservoirs, and per year 5 billion, and you can see the area and the zone of reservoir, groundwater reservoir depletion. We have in overall 60 centimeter per year drawdown for overall. Sometimes we have more than 5 million per year in a specific area, a specific occupier. And more of critical, super critical situation of occupier, 47% and critical, and 31% not critical. Due to is that it means that I mean that they don't have a good reservoir. It means it already is not, and due to salinity or due to a shallow aquifer with a limited volume. About the quality and about the salinity, specifically salinity from 250 to 4,500 EC, micromoles per centimeter. And we have the problem of land subsidence in more than 300 plan. It means half of our occupiers, our area, our region has the problem of land subsidence. I continued. Water resources scarcity in Iran, a complex issue, climate change. What happened in country due to climate change? Precipitation events right now has been changed from snow to rainfall. From long time to short time, even in humid regions. And then we have the problem of flash flood and flooding due to lack of infrastructure for capturing it. It means that we lost the billion cubic meter per year due to lack of infrastructure for capturing it. Water resources availability. We have a big deal about water resources availability. How much we have? Surface water, groundwater. How we can estimate it even more than 50, just 50%, not 80%. The 21st century planning approach how we can implement solutions for this difficult situation of water resources, surface water. The 20th century water development paradigm in the past century driven an etiquette of growth has still as social values, running we don't have to use long term with this situation. I mean, just for prediction and especially for forecasting, we leave almost more than half of the data, just 10 years, 15 years. Recent 15 years data is useful for us. It show the reality, but not old data. The problem is here. Unfortunately, for estimation, the water resources availability, the most people, even the university and the experts, use the whole of the data for estimation what will be happen in the future. The problem is the change of from linearity to non-linearity, from long-term to short-term data. And one of the solutions that I have a research direction for me with my team from physical based modeling for surface water and groundwater prediction and forecasting to AI. More than 20 years, 30 years, I was working about the physical based modeling in surface water and groundwater, and due to a lack of data, and always we had the problem of especially result for result. Right now, I have two directions: water resources modeling based on physical modeling, and another one AI. AI is, as you know, AI is a very good tool right now, but it should understand the concept of problem concept, what happened in watershed, what happened in aquifers, and conceptual model, and then we can do AI. For AI, also we can, for example, as you know, the input data is mostly precipitation, and output data, precipitation and groundwater, for example, for groundwater modeling using AI. The input data is precipitation and groundwater level, initial groundwater, and output data is groundwater level, and we can expect for 5 years, 10 years, but not long term. I have decided for a giving a good result, because in most of Penang country, we don't have a lot of precipitation per year, and maybe some just northern of Iran maybe we have more 600 millimeter per year, but in the overall country we have 250 millimeter, and even we have 50 millimeters. In this situation, the precipitation data is not really useful for AI. And I use the for groundwater. I use the groundwater volume withdrawal. Groundwater production. I use the volume of production phase as input data, and another data that can be useful. Groundwater level, initial groundwater level, and also we use the temperature and evaporation, and output we get the groundwater level. And for a part of for modeling simulation, as all of data driven models, we use most of data for simulation and 1/4 for validation. I try to get the good result from AI in modeling groundwater surface water and groundwater modeling, and compare with at the same time compare with physical based modeling, and maybe in a few months, future months, we have the result. And another implementation solution The Stanford University has a project, water resource project about Iran. And they proposed the two things. One is about the water productivity activities, and it means that we water productivity, and another one is a selective allocation for some area. Water allocation for some area. It doesn't work. It doesn't work to have them for water productivity. We can do it as a solution, but it doesn't work. We cannot in the short term with a social problem, economic problem, and several problems for agriculture and for urban water use. We cannot suddenly add and make a good result for water productivity, increasing water productivity. And another one, selective allocation for some industries, and is not working in Iran, as I know. The result is 2024. It's not. And another one that I see in the media that adopted that for agriculture, no agriculture, no irrigated agriculture, not development, actual existing agriculture. It doesn't work because the economic problem is not. And one of the solution that Power Ministry has been released, the solution, the transferring seawater, it means saline water from Persian Gulf to central Iran. I have discussed with them, and it's not a good solution, as I like a local solution. Sorry, and for problem water resources scarcity in Iran. So I think the best solution is local solution for groundwater, and injecting of pumping water into an aquifer for storage and use at later time is known as aquifer storage and recovery, and or can be local solution. And I had a project in the south of Tehran, in the field and in the laboratory. It's the results are very good, and another solution I can talk about the estimation the karstic and carbonated formation water volume. I think, for example, in the north of Tehran, we have a lot of water under the mountain, under the formation, but it costs. It costs. If we want to know what's happening, the first thing we have to estimate the water availability in aquifers, in rivers, and in the formations. And then decide for using water. And I think in the short term, we can use aquifer storage and recovery we can establish this plant in the several area, several province, and need for and use the withdrawal of occupancy and recovery. We can use it for industry, for and agriculture, and for drinking. We can use the drinking water and drinking water wells, and is not difficult. It's not difficult as is applicable, and implementation. A solution can be have a good result and in the short term, because we have the problem of treatment water. For example, in Tehran, we have more than 1 billion cubic meter per year output of as a treatment water per year, 1 billion cubic meter per year. And another city in the, we have 100 and 200. It depends on population. There is a very, very good source water sources, and if we do in the two-stage treatment, it can respond to that, and it can solve the problem for them. And another problem, another solution that I see, like Istanbul University, Iran projected 2040, that they release their result, their solution. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And I can, unfortunately, we don't have a good studies in surveys and water resources, and update studies in country what happened right now, but not 40 years ago. And in this matter, data science as a tool for data processing, because we have to go to use the AI and that is the combination that I use. And I calculate the paradigm of changing paradigm from 20 and 21 century, and from linearity to non-linearity, from long time data to short time data, and from physical based modeling to AI modeling, with a good knowledge about the conceptual model of area. I mean, we cannot use the AI without knowledge, a good knowledge about the conceptual modeling, self model, and ground model. Unfortunately, I see a lot of paper in using the AI without what is the concept, what is the main concept, and just code. They have some. We have some. We can do some code using, but if we don't know what happened in watershed and there is not enough, and we cannot interpret the results, and often we take a big mistake that I can see in the several papers that have been published recently. Yes. Okay, thank you for your attention. If you have any question.
Thank you, Professor Majid Kholgi, for the enlightening presentation. Next, we will move to the Q&A session. Please use the chat box to submit your question.
Technically, we don't experts, UN experts, and in France and another country, and the most of them is good, but the most of them is not very strong, and they don't have the country situation. They don't have the enough knowledge about the culture and. For example, organization from Japan came in Iran for doing a participatory approach for management. That I talk about participation. I like to participate. That I have the enough experience in the field, and but he is very good expert and very serious and with experience in Africa, but it doesn't work due to it hadn't enough experience about the culture. And for your information, Iran is a very big country, very different cultural from west, east, from each province. We have a multicultural and multi-language, multicultural. For getting a successful solution, it should go to media of the media, social media and cultural, and know what happened for them, and then be a parent of them, but not it must. The act of power ministry, Iranian power ministry, it doesn't work. It didn't work because they have a lot of it must. It have to make infrastructure before telling about the it must. And the problem of economic and environment. What is the more important? We cannot have both of them.
Thank you, Professor, for the answer. For the next question, what are the challenges in the mitigation to implement the solution for the aquifer storage and recovery in Iran? How do you ensure long-term sustainability of aquifer recharge?
Sustainability is for pollution, for water pollution and contamination. I don't have your voice. Okay. Okay, thank you. I got it. I got it, the solution. My vision is because we have a field studies and talking about the farmers, and I think it will be a successful solution and a short solution, local solution, and it doesn't need a lot of expense, too much expensive, a lot of billion dollars for implementation. It's a if before we at the first we have to know what happened for farmers, and then explain with several meeting and some community, and we can a good vision, I think, because our experience in a South Tehran domain. But the people sometimes the people is that sometimes the people of urban area maybe talking about we don't use the treatment water for drinking. I said that for drinking we can take and reserve it good water wells upstream of injecting. And so the problem is solved. The problem of religion problem as cultural problem can be solved with this technique.
All right. For our next question, what is your vision for ASR's role in solving Iran's long-term water scarcity issues?
As you know, we cannot do infrastructure very in a short time. We cannot. As we cannot say that tomorrow I solve the problem. And what we can is, I was in Bushehr province in the south of Iran, and a lot of problem of groundwater and dramatically problem. And some of people will be collapse in a few years in future. But we can do something. We can do something for even before the death. We can do something and solve the problem. Yes, right. Yes, right now water is used directly for agriculture, but the result for some area is not good. The dispersion of soil dispersion is happier and is not direct is not good, but injected were unsaturated and saturated, and 2 and 3 kilometers down of occupiers resulting. after 2 years, and for a 2-3 kilometer distance from injection, here we can use safety.
Professor, we have another question.
Yes.
Has Iran considered reclaiming used water? If this is already in practice, is there any reported volume of how much used water is reclaimed?
It's too difficult to have a report that have a real and certainty, for example, volume. And the Stanford University project that I see some days ago, a few days ago, they have, for example, water resource availability 96 water rules, 9 or 88 billion cubic meter renewable water. It's not correct. It's not correct. The basic thing that the water, how much we have, is not correct. Stanford University, because they cannot find it really. But my study really bad, but not idealist. Really bad. We have not enough renewability, water renewability, especially in groundwater and river, due to climate change and non-permanence. And here I can, we have maximum 7.5 billion cubic meter renewable water resource renewable, 75. And unfortunately, we continue for agriculture. We continue to use old paradigm development, agriculture, irrigated agriculture. There is our problem. Economic, but I think we have to stop. We have to stop the development, but existing irrigated agriculture, we can do something for existing, but not develop. And it's difficult. I think we have. I think 72, but sometimes 75 billion cubic meter per year university, but I think more than 85 just agriculture. Irrigated agriculture, it takes money. And I think at the same time we can do some cultural activity. It takes the times. And because the economic problem is more than water for farming. But as I talk to farmers of several programs and several culture, they accept what happened is not good for you. When we talk to them friendly and honestly, they accept.
Thank you, Professor Majid Khayat, for addressing the question so thoughtfully, And thank you everyone for your great engagement.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for invitation. And thank you.
Professor, before you leave, let us take a picture.
Okay.
Participants,
You want to take it? You want to
open
take the photo or no? I leave. I leave.
Okay, ready?
I leave. I leave.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you. Bye bye.
We will now move to the quizzes session. All participants can scan the QR code. You will be given 5 minutes to finish the quizzes starting from now. Are you ready? Now we will start our quizzes session. We will end our quizzing session in 30 seconds. Okay, now we will end our Q&A session. Looks like most of you have focused during our session today because you have 89% of class accuracy. Congratulations all. So we have our winner here. Let's see. The third place goes to Tini. Second place goes to Akmal. And the first place goes to I'm Still Standing. Congratulations to all the winners here. For our winners here, can you leave your phone number so that you can receive we will give the gift after our session end. So for our three winners just now, you may contact us through the IFNSC 2024 WhatsApp group and PM the admin to claim your prize. All participants may scan the QR code provided for the attendance for today's program. For all the participants who cannot scan the QR code, kindly check the chat box because we have provided the link for attendance. We have 10 minutes left for the participants to scan the attendance QR code. Now we will proceed to the next session. Next, we welcome Mrs. Aliaa Binti Shafie, Assistant Director, Department of Environment, Selangor, to speak on circular economy in waste management scheduling. She is the Assistant Director at DOE Selangor, focusing on awareness programs and e-waste policies since 2020. Previously, she worked on key environmental policies with various ministries and won a silver medal at PRPI Malaysia 2012 for sediment research. Let's welcome her.
Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Let me share my presentation. Okay. Hi, can you see this slide?
Yes.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, thank you so much. Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon. Thank you to the host for the brief introduction about myself. First of all, I would like to thank RASUiTM Student Chapter for inviting me to share on the implementation of circular economy in shadow waste. As mentioned earlier, my name is Aliaa Shafie. So basically, this afternoon, I will share a little bit. I will share a little bit about the introduction of shadow waste. So the current scenario or the shadow waste generation trends, and also about touch a little bit about circular economy, and then we will go into e-waste, then lastly about the way forward and currently the way forward of shadow waste in Malaysia. So as you can see here, globally, it is known, or internationally, it is known as hazardous waste, but for Malaysia, we call it as shadow waste. So hazardous waste basically means waste that poses substantial threats to the public health or the environment. Whereas for Malaysia, we recognize hazardous waste as shadow waste. So shadow waste basically defines as waste falling within the categories of waste listed in the first shadow environmental quality shadow waste regulation 2005. The reason why Malaysia call it as shadow waste is primarily because the hazardous waste are listed in the first schedule, or it is put in a schedule, so that's why it is called as shadow waste. So for shadow waste, currently under the Environmental Quality Act 1974, so there is one particular regulation which govern about the shadow waste management. So it is called Environmental Quality Shadow Waste Regulation 2005. So this regulation basically regulate the handling, treatment, and disposal of hazardous waste. And in Malaysia, there is this one prominent department who enforce the regulation, which is the Department of Environment. So under the regulation, so there are few points or few points that is under the regulation, which is what the first one is about the identification and classification, where under the regulation there are 77 waste code. So in order for us to identify what types of waste code, so the waste code will be classified based on the characteristic. And then the regulation also mentioned about the responsibility of waste generator. And then about handling and storage, where the regulation itself highlights the handling, how you handle the waste, and how you label it, and how do you store it. And then it also highlighted the about treatment and disposal. What is the process? What are the treatment activities? And then transportation, where transportation must only be carried out by prescribed conveyance. And lastly, about documentation and reporting. So documentation and reporting is where the waste generator must record their own inventory, and to monitor the movement of shadow waste. The department also has introduced eSwiss, which is Electronic Shadow Waste Information System, just to ease the waste generator and also waste receiver on their inventories as well. So under the shadow waste regulation, as I mentioned just now, there are 77 waste code. So there, as you can see here, it starts from SW1. SW start from 1. So under SW1 series, it has 10 waste codes, which refers to metal and metal-bearing waste, whereas SW, which starts with 2, is waste containing principally inorganic constituents, which may contain metals and organic materials. Under this SW2 series, so it has 7 waste code, whereas SW3, which is waste containing principally organic constituent, which may contain metals and inorganic materials. So it consists of 27 waste code, and SW4 waste, which may contain either inorganic or organic constituent, consists of 32 waste code. And lastly, SW5 series, which is defined as other waste. There's only 1 waste code, which is 501. So as you can see here, the trend of shadow waste generated, even though it fluctuates from 2005 to 2008, you can see a very sharp increment of 79% from the year 2019 to 2020. And then it continues to increase in the year of 2020 to 2021 with 4.5%. So as you can see the graph here, you can see that the generation of shadow waste continued to increase from year to year. And this also, and we did an estimation. So from the estimation as well, you can see a trend where the production of the generation of shadow waste continued to increase from time to time, from year to year. And in 20 years, it is expected to increase about 45%, from 7 to 5 million to 10.9 million. And then from 2040 to 2050, you can see a sharp increment of 29% as well. So from this, you can see that the generation of shadow waste will not be decreasing. It will continually increase depending on the industry or activities in Malaysia. So based on the trends, we can see that there are 6 main industrial sectors that contribute 78.41% of the shadow waste generation over the 6-year period, which is from 2016 to 2021. So 33% was contributed by power plants, and then 10% was contributed from chemical industry, 9.62% from water treatment plants, and then 9.57% from prescribed premises or BYDP in Malay, and then 8.45% from metal manufacturing industries, and lastly 7.51% from electrical and electronic industry. So on average, based on the shadow waste generation, we can see that there are 4 types of shadow waste being generated majoritarily. So it somehow sum up to 76%. So the highest is SW104, which is dust, which is representing dust like dross or ash. And then the second one is SW205, is waste gypsum arising from chemical industry or power plant. And then is SW204, sludges containing metals. So usually SW204 comes from WTP or water treatment plants. And then SW305, spent lubricating oil, which contributed 4.44%. So generally, these are the analysis of the shadow waste generation trend that you see just now. So realizing the importance of realizing that the shadow wastes are continuing to increase as time goes by. So they need to have a circular, we need to somehow look into the circular economy concept of it and how we can incorporate circular economy in shadow waste management. So what is circular economy actually? So circular economy is a model, a model which involves reuse, repurposing, recycling, and remanufacturing. So as you can see on the left side here, in the current economy, we should usually take materials and then we will make it, and then once we make it, and then it will directly being disposed. This is what we call as linear economic model. So a circular economy aspiration is basically we want to shift from conventional linear economic model to a sustainable circular economic model on the right. So as you can see there, sorry, there's a big mistake on the loop. So first you'll make it and then you'll use it, whatever product that you make, and then we will use it, and then after that we will recycle. So these are the loops that we call that somehow showcased about the circular economy. So currently, when we look into the shadow waste management hierarchy, the department are currently moving towards cradle to grave principle to cradle to cradle principle. So this cradle to cradle supports the circular economy concept, whereas the cradle to grave, as you can see just now, is more likely like a linear economic model. So for the cradle to cradle, it promotes reduction, reuse, recycling, and recovery, which is 4R. Whereas for cradle to grave, so basically when you produce something, then after that it will go through pre-treatment, either incineration or solidification, and after that it goes to secure landfill. So why does we introduce circular economy? Circular economy in shadow waste is one of the things is that we want to reduce the amount of waste or shadow waste being disposed or to the secure landfill. So that is one of the main reasons, and also it helps to promote urban mining. Apart from that, it will reduce the amount of raw materials, or virgin raw materials being used. So we ourselves can, instead of using virgin raw materials, so from the circular economy concept, we can use the materials that being recycled or recovered from the existing product that we have just right now. So the government also finds the importance of implementation or integration of circular economy in Malaysia. So one of it is through 12 Malaysia Plan. As you can see, under Theme 3, the government targeted to shift from conventional linear economic model to a sustainable circular economic model. So practically, the target is basically we want to achieve a systematic shift in order to increase long-term resilience. Apart from that, to address the issue of climate change and also environmental degradation and also biodiversity loss. So from the implementation of circular economy in the Malaysia Plan, it somehow also integrated the sustainable development goals and also environmental social governance in companies or organizations in making their own decision making. So from the implementation of this circular economy and in fulfilling commitment towards SDG and ESG, it somehow helps the country in order to achieve the goal, and eventually we will achieve a sustainable, low carbon and resilient country. So through that, we will able to reduce GHG emission intensity to GDP by 45% by the year 2030 based on the 2005 emission intensity. Apart from that, the implementation of circular economy also in the 12 Malaysia Plan also focuses on the household waste, where it also mentioned about the importance and the goal to increase in household waste recycling rate to 40% and also shadow waste to 35%. And also from the circular economy implementation, we will help the country in reduce in the reduction or to help in reduce any pollution incidents that might occur. Apart from that, we will reduce our dependence on natural resources, and at least we can maintain 50% forest cover, as is also one of the commitment under the United Nation Conference on Climate Change. So from that, under this, under the 12 Malaysia Plan, so the government, the department, we have looked into it as you see just now. So one of the goal is for the government to achieve shadow waste to 35%, increase in shadow waste to recycling rate to 35%. So from that, the department has come out with a study, a feasibility study on circular economy in shadow waste. So this study has been conducted for about 2 years now. So where there is the first phase and the second phase. Currently we are in the midst of the second phase. So the first phase is primarily focusing on 7 shadow waste code, which is SW103, 104, 110, 202, 204, 205, and 321. Whereas for the second phase, we are focusing on 10 different codes. So The reason why these codes are chosen basically because due to that production activity or the special management being requested to dispose in sanitary landfill or otherwise. So these are the waste code that are currently being looked under the feasibility study. So that is what's going on the shadow waste part, where currently under the department, so we are looking into it under the feasibility studies on the shadow waste itself. But for e-waste, it is special for e-waste because shadow waste is more towards industrial, whereas for e-waste, the government or the department have worked with Japan International Cooperation Agency, where we are currently where we are looking into how to manage the e-waste or electrical and electronic appliances from consumer. So do you know that by the year 2035, so based on the study, it is estimated that 24.5 million units of e-waste, which is primarily 6 items, will be generated by 2035. So due to this alarming number, so the department has, as I mentioned just now, have worked with JICA. So e-waste, as you know, e-waste also categorized as shadow waste under the waste code SW110. So under the first schedule of Environmental Quality Shadow Waste Regulation 2005, where the e-waste defined as waste from electrical and electronic assemblies containing components such as etc. So e-waste also defined as broken, non-working, or old or obsolete electronic appliances. So this definition applies to consumer. So from this, you can see that there's a Malay writing there. So from this, you can see that e-waste are being produced from 2 different activities. One is from industrial processes, and the other one on the right is from consumer. So from the industrial processes, currently is being governed or it being regulated under the Environmental Quality Regulation, Environmental Quality Shadow Waste Regulation 2005, where it's somehow, as you can see there, some of the e-waste from industrial processes are rejected components, IC chips, crash printed circuit board, and lead frame. Whereas for e-waste from consumer, such as mobile phone, television, air conditioner, computer, refrigerator, and washing machine. So these are the 6 items that are currently being looked under the department in the e-waste management mechanism. So I believe you can see all of these 6 items in your household. So due to the increase or the alarming numbers of 24.5 million units by next year, so that's the reason why the department are looking into this into the e-waste. So based on the cooperation that being conducted with JICA, we have come out with an e-waste management mechanism. So this mechanism basically highlights the extended producer responsibility concept, and also this application of circular economy, where under the EPR, the producer are responsible to ensure environmentally sound management of the electrical and electronic equipment product after their end of life. I will show you how does the e-waste management mechanism or the application of circular economy in the e-waste management mechanism. This mechanism also emphasizes on the shared responsibility among the stakeholders. Under this mechanism, there are 4 major stakeholders. The mechanism also confined to 3 main flows, which is e-waste flow, deposit and rebate flow, and lastly, reporting flow. So the e-waste flow explain or determine the correct e-waste channel or e-waste movement from consumer to registered collection center, and finally to licensed recovery facility. Whereas for the deposit and rebate flow is somehow explain about the implementation of deposit and rebate scheme, where the manufacturer or importer under the EPR implementation will pay deposits for electrical and electronic equipment that will be placed in Malaysian market. Apart from that, due to the operation activities and in order to sustain recovery facilities and also collection centers activities, rebates will be given to them so that they are able to manage and handle e-waste in environmentally sound manner. Lastly, it's about the reporting flow. So basically, the reporting flow is somehow to support both the e-waste flow and deposit and rebate flow, in order for us to identify or to determine the actual or accurate for accountability of the system itself. So these are the framework of e-waste management mechanism. From the left here, you can see we as consumer or under the legislation, we call it as waste generator. We as consumer are obligated to send e-waste to registered collection center, where the registered collection center will then transport the e-waste to a licensed recovery facility. So licensed recovery facility, in a simple word, it is also known as it will conduct or recycling activities for e-waste. So they will manage and recover the e-waste in ESM. Then through the recovery activity, they will obtain precious metals and materials that can be recycled, such as plastic, paper, and etc. And finally, there are some residues that will be that will go to final disposal. So from this activity, it somehow supports the cradle to cradle, whereby it implies the 4R concept in the by recovering the e-waste. So from up here, you can see, okay, then after that, the precious metal will be reused for production of new product. So you can see that there are line there over there. So as I mentioned to you just now, so manufacturer, if they want to put the electrical and electronic equipment into Malaysian market, so they need to pay deposits, and they need to report the number of electrical and electronic products put on market. So, and then the department or an entity who will manage the deposits and also will disperse the rebates to collection center and recovery facility, depending on their reported activity. So you can see here, there's a loop here. So this is what under the e-waste management mechanism, the circular economy implementation under the e-waste management mechanism. So as I mentioned, so there are 4 stakeholders, primarily manufacturer and importer will need to pay the recycling fee, and then waste generator or consumer. So we ourselves need to discard e-waste to the registered collection center only, and then we have collection center, one of the stakeholder as well. So collection center basically consists of retailers. Some of the retailers are Sanheng, Tan Bun Mi, and also so those are the retailers has been registered as e-waste collection center, and we also have NGO registered as collection center and local authority. Shopping mall as well has been registered as collection centers and company. So they need to obtain registration number and sticker from the OE, and then meet the collection and storage requirement, as well as lastly on the recovery facility, where they need to manage and recover the e-waste in environmentally sound manner, and also record and report the quantity of e-waste received and recovered. So as e-waste, as the collection of e-waste could not be successful without awareness or support from the consumer. So in order to increase awareness among public, so the government have taken its initiative to introduce Hari Pengumpulan E-Waste or E-Waste Collection Day on last Saturday of the month. So this initiative have been started from January 2021. So previously taken by Ministry of Environment and Water. So and somehow we have continuously conducting e-waste collection program in order to increase the collection of e-waste activity. So in Malaysia, currently we have 200 plus e-waste collection center throughout Malaysia, but currently we are still working towards increasing e-waste collection center, primarily at the West Coast, at the Kelantan area, Terengganu area, and also Pahang area, including Sabah and Sarawak. So because to implement the e-waste management mechanism it is challenging, because not many facilities or recovery facilities are there in Sabah. Like for instance, in Sabah, there's not many recovery facility there. So if e-waste being collected in Sabah, usually it will be transported to Semenanjung, Malaysia, for further to Peninsular Malaysia for further processes. And not all licensed recovery facility, that are licensed with SW110, are registered as under the e-waste management mechanism, or would like to accept e-waste from consumer, because some of the e-waste from consumer are not does not contribute or does not bring any profit to the recovery facility. For instance, like I shared just now, washing machine and also refrigerator. It mainly consists of only plastic, so it does not contain precious metal as what computer, handphone, or air conditioner. So in order for that, so that's why the government need to provide some incentive for them to sustain their operation, and for them to continue accepting and recovering e-waste, the 6th item. So we have also come up with an e-waste portal, which is ewaste.gov.my. So if you have any further inquiries or you want to know more about the mechanism, so you may browse into this website. And then we have come up also with a mobile application, which primarily this mobile application, which is developed by department. We want to help the consumer to identify the nearest registered collection center, and we want to advocate and to help public to send their e-waste directly to the registered collection center instead of scavengers who come to their houses. So these are the initiatives or things that we are currently working towards in order to fully implement the e-waste management mechanism. So just to share with you, there are some initiatives being carried out about circular economy in Malaysia. So just now, as I shared with you earlier, so under the 12th Malaysia Plan, so we have one of the KPIs in 12 Malaysia plans is shadow waste recycling rate to 35% by 2023. And then there's also Green Technology Master Plan, which also highlights about the waste, which is including the shadow waste, where a National Committee of Sustainable Waste Management have taken action in order to address waste management issues. And also there are Environmental Sustainable Strategic Plan under the ministry, where it also put an emphasis on or KPI on shadow waste recycling rate, where the strategic plan aim to promote shadow waste recycling up to 50% by 23 compared to 17% in 2020. So currently, the implementation of shadow waste recycling rate are mainly being conducted by under the Regulation 7, Special Waste Management. So there are also green investment incentive being introduced. So one of it is green technology incentives, so that incorporates or implements circular economy in its incentive. So this green technology incentive was introduced in 2014 under MIDA. So there are certain activities or certain services that are that are listed as the one that are look into under the to be given, the incentive to be given. One of it is on recycling of waste activities and also exemption for import duties. And so this incentive or shadow waste management, so get this kind of incentive under the green investment. So lastly is on the circular economy, Malaysia's Circular Economy Council. So the government are taking serious about the circular economy when a council has been established under the Ministry of Local Housing. So this council not only look into the shadow waste, it also look into circular economy of plastic, water, organic and agricultural, and also steel, paper, glass, fabric, and rubber. So these are the things that the council look into. In a way, somehow we can promote increase the recycling rate of waste in Malaysia. So as a way forward for disposal, so through the department, so we are looking into 20% shadow waste disposal. So we want to reduce the shadow waste disposal to secure landfill through increased 4R practices, and to achieve increase 4R practices, and then 80%, we want to increase 4R practices by 80%. So previously through the application of cradle to cradle concept. So previously 54%. Also currently we want to reach 80%. And then we want to reduce incineration, less than 5% incinerations. So we want to maintain the shadow waste disposal rate through burning or destruction. I'm in a way incineration at less than 5%, and we want to promote household hazardous waste management and strengthening the household hazardous waste management. One of it is through e-waste, as I shared just now. And lastly, the department also looking into establishing a framework on circular economy. And currently, under the feasibility study, so we will come up with a framework and policy and strengthening the framework and policy on circular economy for shadow waste. We will as well review legislation and review the legislation if there is some kind of improvement that we need to do in order to implement the circular economy into the regulation, as well as prepare technical guidelines, and we will come up with master plan as well. So basically that sums up my presentation, my sharing for today. So I would like to leave you with a video on e-waste recovery. So I hope you can listen to it.
Berjumpa kita dalam rancangan Khayat seantero alam, dan hari ini kita akan sambung lagi tentang e-waste. Don't waste my time. Soalan anda sekarang sebelum saya form anda semua. Banyak sangat ni, bertubi-tubi ni soalan ni. Jawablah. Satu. Baik. Takkanlah tak tahu kot. Lepas kita hantar kat pusat kumpulan tu, lepas dia kumpulkan, dia pun dia hantar ke kumpulan kot. Siapa? Lah, apa tu bulan? Lah. Bulan pun nak pergi kerja juga. Sabar, bawa bertenang semua. Nak tahu ke mana pergi semua email tu? Mari sini, kita sama-sama belajar. Nak tolong jawabkan tak? Nak. Seperti yang kita tahu, email perlu dilupuskan mengikut prosedur yang betul. Persoalannya sekarang, setelah dihantar ke pusat pengumpulan yang terdaftar, apakah proses seterusnya yang berlaku kepada email yang terkumpul tu? Dia tanya kat kita pula. Kalau kau tanya aku nak tanya siapa? Baik kau tak payah muncul kat sini. Okey. Sekarang ni mari kita belajar tentang kitaran ekonomi buangan elektrik dan elektronik. Ianya bermula dengan aktiviti yang pertama, iaitu pengeluar atau pengimport. Kemudian diedarkan kepada pencet peralatan elektrik dan elektronik yang menjualkannya kepada kita, iaitu pengguna. Di sinilah berlaku proses pencanaan e-waste setelah peralatan-peralatan ini rusak. Maka kita hantar e-waste ini ke pusat pengumpulan berdaftar untuk panjang betul kitarannya ya. Belum habis lagi. Dari pusat pengumpulan berdaftar e-waste akan dihantar ke kemudahan pemerolehan kembali yang dilesenkan, dan di sinilah berlakunya proses seterusnya, iaitu proses peleraian, penghancuran dan pengasingan, pemisahan magnetik, hydrometallurgy dan proses pyrometallurgy. Jom kita tengok proses-proses dia. Sampai hilang dah. Yang ini nama dia proses peleraian. Peleraian. Ini pula proses penghancuran dan pengasingan. Proses pemisahan magnetik. Betul. Bijak, kau tahu. Dia ada tulis ni. Mantap. Man, ini proses apa? Yang ini proses hidroklo. Ini pasal kita tekak pula lah. Sedara je lah tolong terangkan. Ini nama dia proses hydrometallurgy. Ini yang saya nak cakap tadi. Sikit lagi tu. Yang tu pula, nama dia proses pyrometallurgy. Pyro. Yang ini lepas tu, dah hasil lah logam berharga. Wow. Ikan berharga. Saya suka. I like. Apa ini? Like. I like. Kemudian, ianya digunakan semula oleh pekeluar untuk menghasilkan produk baru. Inilah yang kita katakan tadi, kitaran ekonomi buangan elektrik dan elektronik. Proses kitaran yang bagus tadi tu. Ya. Eloklah kita mulakan berkumpul dan kita harus kena e-waste dari FAF. Untuk maklumat lanjut dan senarai pusat kumpulan berdaftar, sila layari laman sesawang e-waste.doe.gov.my. Dan jangan lupa buat turun aplikasi My e-waste di telefon pintar anda. Di mana tu? Tolong ni.
Sorry. So with that, I think that's all for me. Thank you so much.
Cuba kita dengan perhatian.
Okay, with that, I would like to thank you for thank you. And I would like to pass back to the host. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Aliaa, for your insightful session. We will now proceed with another round of Q&A and quizzes session. Kindly type your question into the chat box. Thank you to everyone who has submitted the questions through the chat box. I'll be reading the question for our speaker to address. If you have more questions, feel free to add them to the chat. For our first question, from Sharon, does EPR only applicable for consumers e-waste? How about industry like office building that has a lot of e-waste too?
Thank you so much, Ms. Sharon, for the question. So consumer e-waste that I meant just now is e-waste that being produced by consumer, one of it. So it may, the definition of e-waste from consumer also consisting e-waste from institutional offices and also from household. So it does also applies to the e-waste management mechanism. Actually, it does not. Okay, like this. Sorry. So the EPR implementation on the the e-waste management mechanism, actually, we want to look into the 6th item. So it doesn't matter either it is used in offices or in consumer. So the EPR will be implemented for the 6th item itself. So so if let's say in the office purchase computer, the EPR will be incorporated already in the item. So will not the control or the mechanism applies not through the activity or through the office through it will not it will apply based on the item itself. It's not on the location or the activity being the things that activity carried out by the actor.
Thank you for the
Okay.
answer. We have the next question. So this question is a bit long. US only covers very small percentage compared to the rest of the scheduled waste generated. So what is the impact on circular economy? What about the scheduled waste that do not contain any precious metals that would be considered for repurposing or etc.? They are all disposed, right?
Sorry, the question is from which one again? Sorry, I can't see
The question,
in the chat box.
the question is from Mohammed Afif.
Ahmad Afif. Okay, let's see. Okay, so that's why under the feasibility study we are looking into the codes or the ways that can be utilized, that can be that can implement the circular economy concept. The one that's being reported under the trends, the electrical and electronic trends just now, only represents data from industrial activities. It does not covers the e-waste from consumer. So that's why you can see there's a bit there is a small percentage, which is approximately around 5% only, because the e-waste generated from consumer are currently not being reported in the data. So one of the challenges in addressing e-waste management mechanism, sorry the noise about the noise. So one of the challenges in e-waste management mechanism is the collection. So the collection of e-waste being produced by consumer. So in order to address the problem of the e-waste, we must advocate or increase awareness, increase public awareness. So that's why the department introduced collection center, because as you can see, the data is very low. Perhaps actually it might increase the number because the consumer data are not being reported. So we don't know where where is the consumer waste being disposed currently. So that's why we come up with this kind of mechanism to address this issue, so that we will have a proper management of e-waste in Malaysia. So there are some shadow waste that may not contain precious metal. So if let's say for refrigerator and for refrigerator and washing machine. So maybe it contains only few of precious metal in it, but some of the other parts of the materials can be recycled, such as plastic. So when it goes through the recovery process, so as you can see just now in the video, they will go dismantling processes, right? So in order, through the dismantling process, so the recovery facilities are able to identify which part or which components can recycle and which one will end up to secure landfill. So this initiative, the circular economy application of it, basically helps in reducing the waste being disposed to secure landfill. So that's why the department or the government are promoting this circular economy concept. The application of circular economy requires not only government responsibility as well. It requires some kind of adjustment also, new technology being incorporated as well in the recovery facility. So that's why it is a policy that need to be looked carefully. So that's why the department are looking into the potential of shadow waste that can go through the circular economy implement the concept. So, yes.
Thank you, Mrs. Aliaa. For our next question, what certs would you recommend for fresh grads wanting to pursue career in the environmental field? Also, can we get a copy of your slide from Amma Aiman?
Thank you for the question. So for fresh graduates, actually, that would like to join into the environmental field, I would say you should get an auditor certification. And if let's say you are more keen towards shadow waste, or so you can go into SEPSWAM. You can get a SEPSWAM, which is shadow waste management certification for shadow waste. So there is a few certifications that are currently being introduced or being handled by IMAS, Institute Alam Sekitar, or Environmental Institute for Malaysia. So in this case, I would say I would recommend for you to pursue on environmental auditor.
Thank you. Thank you for your answer, Mrs. Aliaa. For Amma Aiman, you can stay until the day 6 because we will have a session about the competent person. Mrs. Aliaa, for the next question is from Lee Karhui. As a metal industry waste generator, how we reduce the disposal of SW104? Because based on the trend from 2016 to 2021, the SW104 was contributed about 40.86%, 86%. Any idea to share it?
Well, actually, there is a benefit of SW104 itself, because it is also being utilized as raw materials for other industry. So basically, even though it's being highly generated, but it is somehow being utilized as a raw material for other industry. So it will definitely, based on the types of technology being utilized in your facility.
For our next question, how effective have the awareness programs been in educating consumers about proper e-waste disposal? From Rizwan.
Thank you, Mr. Mahar Rizwan, for the question. So from our data, from the year 2020 to 2021, we have seen a major increase of e-waste collection in our e-waste collection data. So before, we are able to collect only 1,000 metric ton of e-waste of e-waste. But due to our awareness program and also e-waste collection activities being promoted, we have somehow managed to collect 2,650 metric ton of e-waste. And this awareness program, and we have seen a major shift in our organization and also corporate entity, where due to commitment to SDG and ESG, more corporates and more organizations are keen to address e-waste management, and they also choose e-waste as a topic in order for them to showcase their commitment. So apart from that, in Selangor itself, initiatives have been carried out in order to we can see that most states have taken its own initiative in reducing or in increase recycling rate of e-waste, or increase the collection rate of e-waste. So for Selangor itself, Selangor have come up, the state of Selangor have come up with its own initiative to achieve 17% of collection rate. So from there, we can see that lots of people are known, they are aware about the e-waste, about e-waste, and it somehow when student, and also one of the programs that being carried out by the department is also, we also collaborated with Ministry of Education, where we conducted e-waste collection in school. So in one of the things that we do in order to advocate public and to increase awareness among children itself on e-waste. So that's about it.
Thank you, Mrs. Aliaa, for the answer. Participants, for your information, Rakan Alam Sekitar UiTM has actively conducted e-waste awareness campaign all around Malaysia. We have already conducted 12 sessions. So move on to the next question. From TS Muhammad Safwan, for e-waste from industrial, some waste collector request WG to pay for disposal fees. But for e-waste campaign for public, we can get money from the e-waste disposed. How can this be double standard? And how usually rebate collected from DOE being used by the waste collector?
Thank you for the question, TS Muhammad Safwan. Okay, so that's why the department are looking into the e-waste management mechanism. So under this mechanism, there will be no double standards or double fees being charges to industrial or public. So that's why the rebates comes in. So once they join and they want to collect the 6 item, they cannot charge the public. They cannot charge the public or industrial if they want to dispose the 6 item. So it is because EPR has been implemented. So it is somehow the public, as you can see, once extended producer responsibility, because EPR is not new. So it has been implemented in some of the countries like Japan. In Japan, consumer need to pay for disposal. So if they want to dispose their electrical and electronic devices, they will need to pay for it. Whereas in Singapore, we have ALBA, who manage the collection of e-waste from consumer. So once the EPR take place, there should be no double charging or double standards occur in the mechanism. But in a way, the department are still looking into it, and we are still addressing any issues pertaining as what you mentioned. Thank you for the input. So we will look into the matter on how we can strengthen it. So one of it is through rebate implementation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Aliaa, for the answer. For our next question from Dr. Subra, should any recycling activities in-house be assessed for environmental impacts due to the toxic chemicals and processing involved? Thank you.
Should any recycling activities in-house? Just would like to clarify on the terms in-house referred to. Does it refer to the recovery facility? So because recovery facility, they are required to comply with a requirement that are set by the department. But for collection center, there are requirements where no dismantling processes can be carried out in their facility. So the collection centers are only obligated to collect, so they cannot do any dismantling activities. The dismantling activities because studying the mechanism, we can see that if I believe that you can, if you look into this activities from scrap metal dealers, usually they open the e-waste. So and there are some issues where there are some parts that are like PCB. PCB usually contains most of the precious metal. So we don't want it being tempered or anything. So that's why the collection center, the requirement, we have put a requirement to collection center where they can't do any dismantling processes. So the collection center are only obligated to collect only. Then after that, they need to send it to the recovery facilities. But it is different from the refurbishing. If let's say the intention of it, if let's say you still want to reutilize or you want to repurpose it, so it might not considered as e-waste because it's somehow back to your intention. So if let's say your intention you want to dispose it or you want to recycle it, it will consider as e-waste. Okay, thanks for the question.
Thank you, Mrs. Aliaa, for the answer. Looks like we have a few questions more. From Cairo Azwan, if have CEPS WAM competency, is it considered as environmental officer?
SEPSOM is only a certification. Environmental police officer is a position. So I would not say that but usually environmental officer, in order for them to be competent, so they need to have some sort of certification from the department. So one of it is SEPSOM, because SEPSOM is required for those who manage or handle shadow waste. They need to have a SEPSOM or in a way, or in simple term, certification on shadow waste.
Thank you, Mrs. Aliaa. For our last question from Abdul Hakim, Jazakallahu khair, Doctor, for your presentation and effort. Doctor, I'm a master's student and I have a research about climate change awareness in young adults in Malaysia. I want to collect the data regarding the previous campaigns or posts. Do I need to contact NGO for that to include it for my data? Can you guide me, please?
To collect data, previous campaigns from which part? I'm not quite sure about this question. But if you'd like to know, we have come up with compendium as well. So if let's say compendium on environment and also environmental quality report. So if you like to seek further on the data, so you may browse through the report. So you may also contact the the climate change division in the ministry, natural resources and environmental sustainable NRES, our ministry, in order for you to get data on climate change. And also, I think they produce a biennial update report, so you can look into the report on the data of climate change and the activity that might contribute to GHG emission as well.
Thank you, Puan Aliaa Binti Shafie, for addressing the question so thoughtfully. And thank you, everyone, for your great engagement. Now, we will continue with the quizzes session. All participants can scan the QR provided in the chat box to join the quizzes. So if everyone is ready, we will start our quizzes session now. All participants can start answering the quizzes. this session in 30 seconds. Time's up. Now, we will announce the winner of the quizzes. The third place goes to Intan Sapura. Second place goes to Mirara. And the first place goes to Muhammad Akmal. The winners may contact us through the IFNSC 2034 WhatsApp group and PM the admin to claim your prize. All participants can scan the QR code provided for the attendance for today's program. Don't worry, we will share the attendance link. Before that, I would like to introduce to you. I would like to introduce to all participants for the tomorrow session. Tomorrow, we will explore important topics related to occupational safety and health, starting with a session titled What is DOSH and the roles of DOSH related to safety and health in Malaysia, presented by IRTS Muhammad Fazli bin Masnan. This will be followed by a fascinating talk on accidents and experiences of safety and health in industries, delivered by RR Tajo Arifin bin Muhammad Nori. And finally, a session on chemical hazardous management under OSHA by Muhammad Tarmizi bin Muhammad Nordin. We hope you're as excited as we are for tomorrow's session, which promise to be just as enriching and engaging as today's. Please join us at 1:45 p.m. for day 2 of the conference. Before that, we will continue with a video of the introduction of Rakan Alam Sekitar, your ITM Students Chapter. Kindly scan the QR code provided for your attendance before leaving. Until then, have a great evening and take care. See you tomorrow.